This punctuation lesson looks at the asterisk. So we use an asterisk a lot to indicate a footnote. We also use an asterisk to indicate missing letters in order to mask vulgarity. And we also use them when we make corrections in text that we can no longer change. And we'll see what I mean by this in the examples. And also when we're writing fiction, we can use them to express emotions. And please note it's pronounced asterisk, not asterix. That's a cartoon character. Not asterisk, or even I've heard astrofisk. None of those, it's pronounced asterisk. Quite simple, thank you. So we use an asterisk to indicate a footnote, as we've done here. At the end of all the punctuation, we have the little asterisk, the little star to show the footnote, or that there is a footnote. And you often see this in advertisements, where a footnote shows details of conditions and restrictions that may be applied to the offer they're advertising. And please, something to bear in mind as it's important, if you do indicate a footnote with an asterisk, please make sure that there is a footnote actually there on the same page lower down. Because if the footnote is missing, we call this an orphan or orphaned asterisk. This can often happen in advertisements where the restrictions have been forgotten about. And there's the promised footnote. So you see how we do it? At the top, they are used to indicate a footnote, full stop, all the punctuation is finished. The last thing is the asterisk, and at the bottom, asterisk, and there's the footnote that you indicated at the start. We mentioned advertisements, and we'll show these a bit more in detail. So they're often used to indicate conditions or restrictions. So you might see something like this: new mobile phones for $1, asterisk. 25% discount on phone cases this week. And here there's two asterisks. And so there's two footnotes that we could expect. We then go on to see some blah, blah, blah. And then we have the first footnote, so one asterisk. New contract customers only. So these new mobile phones for $1 only applies to new contract customers only. In other words, they're not $1. The price is built into the monthly fee. And the second footnote, we say with two asterisks, while stocks last. So if they've got, say, 10 phone cases that they've discounted, once all 10 have been sold, the offer's finished. Another place we use an asterisk or asterisks is to mask vulgarity by replacing missing letters. So we might have something like, yesterday was a really shitty day. Some dick didn't like me being in his pub, so he called me an ass and told me to piss off and go home. So what we've done is, like this, the presumably vulgar words like shitty and dick and ass and piss, we've just replaced some of the letters with an asterisk. And in the second line, you can see there's a D, an ampersand, an exclamation. This is another way of masking vulgarity. Instead of just using only asterisk, you can use a string of different symbols instead. So they leave enough letters to make it clear what word you're trying to say, which for my personal preference doesn't really make sense, because if you're writing something, you want to convey the meaning to the reader. So in this first line, you can see it's a really shitty day. If I've conveyed that meaning to you, I might as well just write the word out in clear text, because you've still got the word in your head now from reading this text. But by me putting asterisks in, it's actually just, I personally think it's a form of intellectual cowardice, and you don't need it, but apparently some people find it offensive having the words written out in full. So if that is the case, then you would either just don't use the word at all, or you'd mask it in this way as shown. Now, we mentioned making corrections to text that can no longer be changed, and in today's modern word processing world, this doesn't happen too often, but there are a few cases where it happens when you're having, for instance, chat texts in games or messaging systems. So if we think about, say, a typical chat text for a game, someone might write in text, looking for a healer for a raid, and they realize in their haste to type it all out, they spelt healer wrong. They've written hailer, which of course doesn't make sense. So they'd write an asterisk healer. And then it's clear that this word healer is replacing the word that looks like it in the previous line. Or if we think of, say, Facebook messaging, you might write to someone in a private message, I went into town yesterday, but you didn't write town, you wrote ton, which doesn't make sense. So you might write asterisk town asterisk as a way of correcting the word in the line before it. Now, you can only really do this if the word you mistyped is very similar to the correct word. In this case, it's clear which word is being replaced. And there are many ways of doing it. You can either write asterisk correction, or asterisk correction asterisk, or just correction asterisk. It really, there's no rules that say how many asterisks you have to have and whether at the front or the back. It's whatever you prefer. And when we're writing fiction, we sometimes want to show emotions and feelings, and we use asterisks to do this as well. So we're showing, when we use an asterisk, that this is not a literal thing, but rather something that a character is feeling. And someone might ask, why are you cross with me? And the person replies, why do you think I'm cross with you? But you see at the start, there's a asterisk sigh asterisk. So if we were to read this out, the question would still be, why are you cross with me? But the person then doesn't go, sigh, why do you think? The person goes, why do you think I'm cross with you? And we do this with asterisks to show that this is not a literal word that someone says.